Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swamini Tinamini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavati Paskadya Desatarine. I offer my humble obeisances to Sri Samudra Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Charanamrit, which is just flowing in front of this beautiful Chakratirtha temple on the beach of Jagannath Puri. Today, I have a special reflection to share with all of you. In a way, in this mature world, many people are collectors. Sometimes they collect real stupid things. And sometimes they collect beautiful things. I know people that collect bonsais. I know people that collect orchids. That's very beautiful. I even have met people who collect all the rubbish they collect in the street, they keep it in their home. Are attached to every empty soda can. That's pretty silly, no? Some people are rich, they collect buildings. They have a house in Monaco, a house in Paris, a house in Rio. So, I know one guy from Patna, he was rich, and he bought a flat in every big city of India. So he could go everywhere and have his own flat. So people are collecting. They're collecting stamps. They're collecting coins. They're collecting antiques. Some people, they collect old ironing devices. Sewing machines, anything which looks like a little bit. Oh, many people collect old cars. It all depends on how much money they have. They collect different items and they get into some kind of fads. Now, if you have a tendency of collecting, I have a very good suggestion for you. Let us collect nectar of immortality. What is that nectar? Well, sometimes it's visible and sometimes it's invisible. Sometimes you have to do the click of the camera inside of your mind and preserve that moment, preserve that precious encounter. But there's also many things you can collect. One thing you can collect is shlokas which you memorized. If you memorize a shloka, it sticks with you. Of course, there's a tendency to forget, but if you memorize it nicely and you use it for preaching, you're having something on your dashboard, on your collection. Oh Bhagavad Gita, oh Srimad Bhagavatam, oh Chaitanya Charitamrita, Jaya Jaya Mahaprabhu Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Tanada Chalanasrita Seivadadanya. Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nahiyanya. What beautiful jewels you can keep in your mind. You know, collection of items in your subconsciousness, they are much more valuable than collection of items on some shelf. The shelf collections, they're gone. There's one earthquake, it shakes up everything, everything flies all over. So, collecting. The collection of immortal nectar is sadhu sangha. Every time you talk to a devotee, every time you can impress upon your heart, I met a wonderful devotee. Now, you also have to have the talent to recognize a wonderful devotee. It starts very easy. See everybody as a wonderful devotee. Don't make the foolish mistake of discrimination, like, oh, I like this sannyasi, but that sannyasi I don't like because he speaks other type of topics or something. I mean, in plus 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 we can have, but we cannot have in plus minus. In other words, you may very much appreciate, like I hear many classes of Prabhupada, they're all fantastic, but some classes I would give them plus plus plus. They're so great, you know, I want everybody to listen to that class. And I listen to a lot of classes, even though now while I'm traveling, I'm deprived of listening to classes of Prabhupada for social reasons. Not everybody can stand it to fall asleep and wake up with Prabhupada in the ear. For me, it's great. I see and hear Prabhupada anytime. It's always good, and it may be offensive to fall asleep while he's giving a class, but I'm thinking my subconsciousness hears the voice of my Guruji. That is the best thing can happen to me in my subconscious state. Anyhow, some people discuss that. Some people say you don't get a deep sleep by doing so. I haven't noticed that. Anyhow, so listening to special classes, seeing all Vaishnavas as extraordinary. And why not? Because if anybody has faith, even if it's a little faith, he's extraordinary. Because what makes a devotee extraordinary is his faith. Prabhupada had faith in Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada's words. He didn't forget it. His whole life he kept it with him. While he was doing business, while he was publishing journals, while he was helping his godbrothers, but in his mind always it kept, go and preach to the Western people. In the Vaishnavas, anybody who has faith in them is a jewel. You cannot say, oh, the face of this, okay? That you may stay away from. Those who are always having the tendency. Therefore, we have classes, and we should listen to the classes. Even if the person is giving the class, it may be a devotee of less experience than you, which doesn't mean that Krishna and his face will not flow through him to you to help you. Because when you go to a class, it's Krishna giving the class to you through his devotee. Otherwise, he has no business to sit down. I have no business to sit here if it is not ordered by Srila Vyasadeva, Srila Prabhupada. I have no right to ask you to give your time to me. If there was not a transcendental transaction going on, just to listen to my babbling of my mental speculations, that wouldn't be fair. So in other words, preaching and classes, that's why we listen to morning class, evening class. We should try to preach in the day, in universities. We should always be, and every personal conversation and every personal Ishtagosti is a kind of a class, a reflection of our philosophy onto practical issues. So I must tell you, for me, even the Ishtagostis, they are nectar of immortality. Because we are in the Ishtagosti discussing only one thing: how to serve Krishna. How to do something wonderful for Krishna. That's why I say never fight in Ishtagostis. There's no business of fighting there. If different people have different opinions, they can look upon them and counsel more experienced people, but fighting and raising the voice and shouting at others to intimidate them, no, never. Not in Ishtagostis. Who manipulates in Ishtagostis, who don't let others speak because he just keeps talking, is not appreciated. Anyhow, We are trying to collect the nectar of immortality, and spiritual life, dedicated life, is immortality. Service to Prabhupada and Krishna is immortality. That's why when your body is engaged in devotional service, then you can understand that your body is transcendental. And when you chant Hare Krishna, then all the negative things of the past are annihilated, disappearing. That is how powerful the holy name of Krishna is. That is how powerful devotional service is. That's why if you give a donation to Krishna, that liberates your time and energy and sacrifice to get this money. When you give your time to Krishna, that liberates your very life energy by giving it to Krishna. That means your life, your service becomes nectar of immortality. And that's accumulated. You can call it sukriti. So if we make anybody unhappy, this is not good. We should do everything to make others happy by giving them Krishna. And therefore, if we commit any mistakes, we should also apologize. Oh, sorry. If I did anything which took away some enthusiasm from you, because I only want to give enthusiasm. Nectar of immortality is utsaha for service. Practical utsava. But then, of course, the lectures you hear, some of the lectures, they give so beautiful examples that you want to remember them. Oh, this story of the Puranas, I want to keep that. I want to speak about that story, like in the next class when I give, so many stories now. I don't want to get into particular story because we're talking about the nectar of immortality. Now, another nectar of immortality is accumulated through the eyes. What is that? Every time you see the deity darshan, make a click, and keep it in your storage. Wow! Look, the deities here, they are so beautiful. Varaha Deva, Nishinga Deva, Baladeva, Subhadra, Jagannath, Shishi, Radha, Madan, Mohan, Mahaprabhu. So beautiful. And if you look to the sides, on one side is Srila B.A. Maharaj praying, on the other side is a beautiful deity of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. These are images of the nectar of immortality. You keep that image in your mind of Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. What a nectar. And so well done. And so tasty. The love to make this altar. Like, I don't know who designed this altar, but it is so beautiful, so vast, so incredible. Everything is there. The whole temple has suffered a bit from the funny storm, but the impact of this Puri temple of Gopinath Gaudiya is very solid. It's like another Jagannath Mandir almost, you know. I mean, it's the Jagannath Mandir, he's on the altar. So, seeing the deity is a collection of nectar of immortality. Some people like to keep it in photos and hang the photos everywhere. That's also nectar of immortality. It means you can keep looking at them again and again and again. So, the images. Seeing the Vaishnava is nectar of immortality. Not that you get attached to the physical body of the Vaishnava. That is not what we are looking for. We are looking for the image of the devotee doing service, his beautiful tilak, forehead, his beautiful kantimala, everything which reminds of Krishna. Even the Hare Krishna tattoos. I mean, okay, if somebody, like I knew one guy, he had a big Nishingadeva on his back. Well, I wouldn't do that. Wouldn't take Lord Nishingadeva in the toilet with me, you know. immortality everywhere. When I see a temple like this, my life becomes so happy. The beautiful gates the devotee makes. This is the entry to the nectar of immortality. And then there's the nectar of immortality of Bhagavad Prasadam. That is the memory on the taste buds. You remember yesterday that delicious feast? Yes. That is somewhere in your memory you remember, no? Wow, this devotee was cooking so delicious. This morning we took darshan of one place where Srila Narayan Maharaj left this world. And the devotees gave us some papri prasad from Vrindavan. And they took us immediately to Vrindavan. So even prasadam coming from the hand of a Vaishnava to you, that's also nectar of immortality. That is actually purifying you. So prasadam is also nectar of immortality. Now, if you go to Brajmandal Parikrama, Kshetradam Parikrama, then you see so many different places all connected to the nectar of immortality. This is the house of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Look at the deities, look how they worship them. This is the Sadbhuj. Yesterday we saw the Sadbhuj, where over the stone where Mahaprabhu was lying on in separation when when Lord Jagannath was sick, in that stone which his body was melted into the stone, right over there is a deity of Sadbhuj. So keep the nectar of immortality, keep it in your heart, make it part of you, be part of the divine. So the nectar of immortality, you see, I'm giving you many examples how you can collect. Then you may have your favorite book also. You may have some book where you say, wow, this book is incredible. Actually, all the books the Vaishnavas write are incredible. Of course, some of them are more interesting to you, particularly in one moment. Like when we read Krishna book, the stories of Krishna with the demons, how he devastates the demons and how he saves the devotees. Or the story of Krishna meeting with Sudama Brahmana. And tomorrow, and Hira Panchami, Lakshmi coming out of the temple of Jagannath, and she's very upset because Lord Jagannath has not come back from his journey, and she's really, really upset with him, and she goes and she breaks the chariot. My God. And then tomorrow they return to the Jagannath Mandir of the Lord. That is another story. So this time we are seeing this entire Rasa Yatra. Generally devotees, they don't like the last part when the Lord goes back to the temple, even though he's been giving darshan in the temple all year round, but they like this Vrindavan part, this holy name. So that is the nectar of immortality. Every mantra you chant is part of the nectar of immortality. Every time you pronounce mentally or verbally or chanting wise or writing wise, any time you pronounce the holy name, that is nectar of immortality. That takes you to immortality. You simply have to chant Hare Krishna at the moment of your death. That's bad. Ante kale chamangivas malang muktva kalevalam. Who thinks of me at the moment of death, he'll be transferred. So here we are in a place, Srila Puri Maharaj went to Goloka Vrindavan, right in the back in the big building. Srila Narayan Maharaj went back to Goloka Vrindavan, right on that side in the temple. So we are here in a gateway to Goloka Vrindavan. You're standing, you're sitting here in the gateway, back to home, back to Godhead. That's why we go to the Samadhis and we pray to them. Oh Samadhi, my dear Lord, my dear Master, you went back to home, back to Godhead. Take me with you, take me into the realm of eternal nectar and service. So this is the nectar of immortality, is with us, is surrounding us. But if you lose your consciousness, you go like this. Oh, another class. Oh, I know what he's going to say. Oh, another time this mantra and I'm falling asleep. Oh, they want to go on parikrama, I'm going to be walking in the heat. Yes, it's going to be a difficult thing. Oh no, I better stay back. Like yesterday, when I invited the devotees to take a bath in Narendra Sarovar, then it was getting dark. And we were swimming in the Narendra Sarovar, and all of a sudden in front of us, light flashes came out from the Narendra Sarovar, and a beautiful game of lights and water fountains were just making an incredible display in front of our eyes. As we were there, we could not believe it. Yeah. Wow, what's happening here? Where am I? So this is of course for the pleasure of Lord Jagannath, because he has a temple right there. So the nectar of immortality, it is really, really available. It is really coming to us. There are so many incredible moments. Practically every moment has its potentiality to become nectar of immortality. Respecting the Vaishnavas, seeing the Vaishnavas, seeing a cow, seeing the beautiful calves here as they frolic around the temple grounds. This is also nectar of immortality, because Krishna is Gopal. He's the cowherd boy. He loves the cows. So, I could go on. Whenever devotees make a project, it's another nectar of immortality. When you reach a temple somewhere in the desert of this material world, that is another nectar of immortality. When you see the beautiful Arctic ceremony, the beautiful kirtan made to the Lord, this is another nectar of immortality. There they are, they're chanting Jayo Jaya Gaura Chander Aroti Kashubha. This is the song of the nectar of immortality. But you have to have the understanding that comes from your humbleness and from your prayer. Yes, it is Krishna. Otherwise you just go to the market and you look at Chinese-made plastic gimmicks. You see in the street, almost half of the items for sale is stupid gimmicks from China made of plastic. Something goes like this, something goes like that, something goes and turns around, something has lights going clink, 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 clink. You can get so many plastic gimmicks. I mean, the amount of plastic waste for all this silly, stupid thing, it is unbelievable. And people enjoy it. Yeah, let me buy a little bit of China plastic for today. This is not the nectar of immortality. You don't have to waste your time collecting China gimmicks. Of course, the Chinese are very intelligent. Now they're making little Gopal statues and Gornitai, and you go to the market of the devotees, and all of a sudden you find all China statues of divine Leelas. And I've seen some of them, like one devotee in Rubio, Venezuela. He had in his house a beautiful, beautiful Krishna Arjuna chariot. Everything in this fiber type of thing, made in China. Wow. Great artists doing Krishna art in China. Well, Krishna doesn't depend on this country or that country. He can utilize any country. So, therefore, when we see Krishna, When we see Krishna's form, when we see his pictures, his posters, the ISKCON artists, they're painted by Prabhupada's guidance, so many nectar, we call them windows to the spiritual world. That's how important they were. So of course they're nectars of immortality. Those pictures of Lord Keshava and Yasoda Maya with Krishna in her arm and the gopis and Krishna. There's so many plentiful images which have been printed and printed and spread and spread. One time, one of my Guru Bhais, Siddha Swarupananda, he had a poster printed of Lord Nishingadev with Prahlad Maharaj on his lap. What a beautiful, on his lap, or he pats his head. I think he pats his head. A beautiful picture. Lord Nishingadev is so pleased, you know. Of course, there's also the Ugra Nishinga, Lord Nishinga getting angry with Hiranyakashipu. Yes, that is also there. We also love that picture because we love any picture from Krishna. This is all great for us. So this way we can only say one thing, and that is that there's a lot of nectar of immortality. And if you lose the vision of that, you lose the nectar, you lose the appreciation of your nectar collection. And that means you're the loser. For example, like sometimes people, they collect teddy bears. Yes, many these little animals made of cloth, teddy bears and others. So many children, they're collecting that. But then they become 16, 17 years old and they put them all in a box and hide them. No more teddy bears for me. I'm not going to have anything of that. So all their collection, all their attachment they had, they throw it away. It's gone. It goes on the Sperrmüll, como dicen en Alemania. There, just, it loses its value. And many times people in life, they just lose everything they collected before. Or they sell it. Like when I was a kid, I had a stamp collection. So then when I was not interested in stamp anymore, I sold the stamp collection. That was the first time I could travel with the little money I got from the stamp collection. And I wanted to go to India immediately. But my father said, no, you're not going to India because you're not 18 yet. I was minor. And he said, I don't allow you to go to India before you're 18. So I was frustrated. Anyhow, I'm just saying, your collection in this world, they are not collections of immortality. But in Krishna consciousness, every moment, every second, every sadhu, every class, every mantra, everything is part of your collection of nectar of immortality. And you don't lose it. And if you do something like making a temple and that temple stays behind and many people get benefit, like when I hear people that went to any of our farms and they gained faith in Krishna, they became vegetarians and all that, my heart dances. I may not see that person who was benefited. No, but my heart is dancing because I knew somebody got benefit from what we try to offer to Srila Prabhupada and to Sri Krishna. So what other nectar of immortality can we accumulate in Krishna consciousness? I already mentioned the holy sites. The Jagannath Mandir, the Gundicha Mandir, all the many temples in Puri. Already mentioned those. A Gupta Vrindavan, all the beautiful images made there, to think of Krishna all the time. That is also something very valuable to keep in our mind. Well, there's one more nectar of immortality I have to add here. This is the people you help by putting the seed of bhakti in their attention, in their heart, in their mind. And those who you look afterwards to keep them happy. That is very, very important. Because they're like your masters. You want to be a spiritual master? Means you want to be a servant of the people. That's what a spiritual master is. He's a servant of the servant of the servant of the servant, but servant of the people. He maintains their shraddha, he maintains their joy, he maintains them getting prasadam, books, service. Those who occupy others in devotional service, they're the real nectar collectors of immortality, because they have so much of nectar of immortality that they can amply and generously distribute it to many other people and give all of them the chance to participate in their nectar of immortality collection. Let everybody become a collector, successful in his life of giving his love to others, like Lord Chaitanya taught and like Srila Prabhupada trained us up to do. Thank you so much. Jai Radhe. All nectar of immortality may stay with you forever, all the way back to the supreme destination.